Speaker number 132, Allison Wick.
I'm opposed to this project as it currently stands. I'm not opposed to density. I'm very much in favor of density. But this project doesn't do anything for the people of Vancouver. It certainly doesn't do anything for the low-income people of Vancouver. I have lived here my entire life, and I can tell you that the idea that today's luxury condos are tomorrow's affordable rentals is a lie that I have lived. The condos at Kingsway and Knight, the condos, the entire Olympic Village, the corridor along King Edward, the entire along Victoria, along Hastings, none of these developments are affordable for me to live in today. And some of those were built over 10 years ago. None of those buildings are places where I or any of my friends or my family could afford to live, even in a one-bedroom apartment. To build 40-story towers at Broadway and Commercial with 10%, not even below market housing, but market rate housing feels like a slap in the face to the community that spent years working on a Grandview Woodland plan, to the people who wonder why it's taken so long for this project or a project density at this site to be built. It's because we've already been asked this question of what to do with this site. There's already a plan where people have thoughtfully and thoroughly thought about what to do in this neighborhood, and it is not luxury, expensive, well above market rate, 40-story towers with a plaza that will have security guards all day in front of the Safeway. That is not affordable housing. That is building, and that is profit, and that is development. Profit and development are the causes of the housing crisis. They are not the solution. If this were really about housing, why has Little Mountain been empty for my entire life? Hundreds of low-income families evicted, and a site that sits empty. And we're going to sit here and discuss why 40-story towers should include a small daycare that will barely be able to house a fraction of the children who would maybe live in that building. There is no shortage of people who would want to live in this city. What there is a shortage of is places for them to actually go and actually live in. This would be a fabulous place for someone who works for the city of Vancouver to live. Those people on these wages will not be able to live in that building. Like a previous speaker said today, we need to raise our expectations of what we can ask for of City Council. The housing crisis is not a lack simply of supply. It is of a City Council that has, over my entire life, disregarded community, disregarded tenants in favor of developers, in favor of allowing large developments just for profit, expensive condos where people in this city cannot afford to live. For these reasons, I'm very against this development as it stands, and I would really urge council to refer this back to the drawing board to have actual affordable units required. Make it 100% affordable rental units. You could do that. West Bank can afford that. This is what I would request of council. This is why I'm opposed to this motion. Thank you very much for your time.
Great, thank you very much. Speaker number 133, Jana Jimir. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's a Nepali last name, Gimare. Dear Mayor and councillors, I am a low-income renter living a block away from the proposed sites. I'm also a young person. We've made mention of them throughout today. I make a living without a car and with modest means in arts education, and my father owned a restaurant in the neighborhood for well over a decade. I'm precisely the kind of resident who benefits from the transit-oriented lifestyle that the neighborhood affords. I take the SkyTrain every day, and I want that for my peers too, okay? Yet, I am here to speak to council today because I am strongly opposed to the proposed development as it stands. How can that be? Please understand that what we as young people want and need, and are frankly begging you for, is to champion more affordable housing. We need it. We need it, folks. I'm very much feeling the consequences of our housing crisis, not just now, but also as I decide whether or not Vancouver is a place that I can live in potentially raise a family in, knowing that there's that measly amount of daycare space is not really going to be enough to reassure me. I was shocked and appalled to see that 90% of the units will be above or at market rates. It's unacceptable to me given the context of our neighborhood. Why should you, our mayors and councillors, accept this from the developer? We can do so much better at this site. It has so much potential. Please consider the existing socioeconomic makeup of our vibrant neighborhood. We're full of working people and also a substantial Indigenous, urban Indigenous population. These are my neighbors and my friends, and many of them participated over the years to develop the Grandview Woodland Plan, which this proposal eschews. Make no mistake, as I look forward to our future, I know that this is not one that I can be a part of. I can't afford to live in a place like the towers that are being proposed. I understand that this proposal would also potentially put pressure on my landlord to displace me in the not-so-distant future, and that would be the reality for many small businesses nearby as well. We do not need more luxury suites, certainly not at Grandview Woodland, because this does not serve our local residents or prospective residents, frankly. Councillors, our city has plenty of mega towers. Many condos are small units sitting empty. The real estate market has been talking about this a lot. Why are one-bedroom and studio bedrooms not selling downtown? Is because that's not the kind of housing that we need. I do want us to have transit-oriented, thoughtful density, and we can do it if we do it thoughtfully. As many have mentioned, it's unacceptable as well that a proposal of this size and scope does not introduce sufficient amenities to counterbalance the huge population increase and the strain that that would place on our community. That there's no public plaza yet worked out in the plan is another huge red flag, and it's very telling of this project's overall conception. Councillors, I accept that this neighborhood will change. I really do. Our community will change, but we can do this in a better, smarter, and more equitable way. This will be the jewel of commercial Broadway. We need to be thoughtful about this. Thank you.